How you doing today, Annalise?
I'm doing great. How are you, Nikki?
I'm killing it. Today, we're going to crush it with this pod, dude. I'm super excited. 5 things you need to be doing as a musician. 5 important things. Man, there's a lot of important things you do as a musician. So whether you're thinking about going into the music trade, you may be in the college or in high school and thinking about it, whether you're already out there and you want to know what you're supposed to be doing. I always look to cheat off other people's tests, or whether you're an innocent bystander just wondering what in the world musicians do every day. We're here to talk about it. And the first one up is practice, the discipline of practice. Why don't you get us started, Annalise?
Dun dun dun. I hate the word practice. I think it's the worst. It's the scariest word for such a simple thing. Practice is kind of critical. Like if you're gonna try to continuously learn and get better and get hired for things and learn new songs and do anything really as a musician, you gotta practice. It looks different for everyone. Everyone has different attention spans. However, having a constant set of skills that you're working on, having a constant list of rep songs, set lists that you're working on, is just critical. And even if you got nothing coming down the pipe, if you've never played a gig, if you play gigs every night, it's a good thing to keep on the practice. Keeps you warmed up, keeps you hot, keeps you rolling, keeps you learning.
Yeah, dude, practicing your technique things, building your tonal quality. Man, practicing slow. I
Hate it.
can't believe how complicated the human body is and how much stuff just I'm a piano player myself. So like playing piano is so crazy. There's so much stuff involved. So your brain, little fun fact for you, can memorize, I think it's 32 gradations
What?
of one finger movement up and down. And I think that's just from this joint. I guess that's going to move everything else. Maybe it's just like 32 gradations in general, but that's crazy. Think about the binary code that's going through the brain to get that all done. I'm
Whoa,
also
you went deep so fast.
I'm just saying, slow it down with that practice. Let's get it. That really, really helps. And I spent way too much of my music time not hitting that up. Practicing rhythm. If you're a contemporary musician of any kind, throwing on that trome, dude. All that stuff. There's so much I could say about practice, right? I could go crazy on
Oh,
practice.
yeah. Yeah.
So next up, we got the listening and experiencing music. What do you think about all that?
I feel like this is the fun part, right? Because it's, I feel like even if you avoid listening to music, which would be funny if you're a musician, it's constantly everywhere, right? It's in ads, it's in our world. Our world is using music constantly for various things. So listening is such a great way of passively and actively researching to learn new things, to learn new rhythms, to learn new music, to learn different nuances of genre and style. And it's just a refining fire, if you will. Very churchy thing to say, but it's true. And I mean, listening can also be an experience, right? You can go to concerts, you can see live music, you can see it in various settings, you can see it in theater, you can see it in cabaret, you can see it in a worship service, you can see it in a rock scenario. But all of these things, like, you learn so much passively and actively from listening, and it all comes back to inspiring you, expanding your understanding of things, giving you fresh ideas. Yeah, that's the simple way of putting it. Do you have anything to add?
Oh man. So it can be overwhelming. I get overwhelmed with the amount of styles and things that I can listen to. So I find for myself, I've got to be kind of careful and like try to limit for a week. Like I'm going to listen to these couple tracks. I'm going to really get intimately familiar with this. So I might have a mass list of things that I listen to passively. I might have a few things that I'm listening to in detail. I also think YouTube is like incredible. Vimeo, all of them, incredible that you can see a live performance of somebody and see them actually do their thing without a bunch of affectation and whatnot. Not that there's not a lot of that in live concerts, but if you get like a good raw concert and you can hear somebody actually sing and how they sound outside of all the studio effects, it's like, oh man, that's so inspiring. And you can see their face and how they're doing things, see people play live. That stuff is incredible. So yeah, I think trying to limit your scope for a second and being able to see some of the live things, and then go see people live, even if it's not your favorite people, nothing, you can't trade anything out. Like, what's the live show look like? Like, how are they entertaining people? We as musicians kind of forget that we're giving people an experience, so like seeing all that stuff is killing. Collaboration and networking, man, that is a thing that musicians do. Collaborating and networking. Hey, collaborative partner, collaborative homie,
Hey, buddy.
collaborative sister from another mister. What do you think about collaborating and networking?
I think the word networking is scary. I guess the whole point of maybe what you could gather from listening to me talk in this podcast is that I'm actually scared of being a musician. However, it's very gratifying, and I recommend it if you're feeling drawn to it. Networking, collaborating. I feel like networking comes first, right? You gotta meet the people somehow, and then collaborating is like a deeper next layer step, a very deeply satisfying kind of offspring of the networking process. So networking it doesn't have to be scary. It's a great thing. You can network in all the ways and all the things we've already talked about. You can network through listening, through joint listening. You can network through shared experiences of music. You can network in your schools. If you're a student, you can network in your workplace. You can network all the time. I mean, we're always constantly having relational conversations, and you'd be surprised if you bring up certain topics, how many people are actually in your realm or kind of would identify in your circle of interests that you wouldn't otherwise know if you didn't bring stuff up. So networking is all about intentionality. It's about seeking things out. It's about pushing kind of the envelope of conversations. It's about making connections. And I think the key is making authentic connections so that you can go into that deeper realm of collaborating where you like hit some creativity, you hit some like, I've got this skill set, you've got this skill set. Let's like take it and make it good and like complement each other. Let's like start business things. Let's make money together. Let's like not have to do all this on our own. So it really is, the networking is really the gateway drug to collaborating, and that's the drug you really want, not trying to promote drugs here, but like get yourself some of that.
Refining fires and drugs, kids. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I had a great conversation with a fellow piano player last night. We were communing over some food, which is also, as a chubby guy,
Communing.
just like communing over a little bit of food or a little bit of coffee. That's always great to catch up with people. And he said, "Who are the piano players in town?" And I'm like a jazz piano player, contemporary piano player, so I named off like 30 people that are all so incredible, and none of them do the same thing as
Mm-hmm.
well as some of the other ones. So there's just so much you can learn from just like going to see shout out Christopher Parrish. Go to see Christopher Parrish play stride piano. Whoa, man, it's just like that. I can't even touch it, but I learned so much. One of the things I really regret, I don't know, regret's a little strong, that I hope to amend as I get to be an elder pianist. Man, I'm trying to go see my homies play, because even if everything is not spectacular, even if you've got to take a night off or whatever, if the logistics are tough, man, you learn so much from hearing your contemporaries, and inevitably they're going to do something really cool, and guaranteed you compliment them about them, they're going to help you get better at whatever that skill is. You learn so much, dude. All right.
Wait. One more thought. I
Yes,
think
ma'am.
this is a general key to life thing I've learned over the last couple of years. Living curiously, living with curiosity, living with accepting the questions you have about things and asking them is so Powerful. I can't even begin to explain how it's changed my life. Just being curious and allowing my curiosity to drive conversations and relationships and interactions. You gain so much understanding of things, and let me tell you, there's so many topics that you learn from people that are not music related that will change you as a musician. So just tune into that little part of your brain that's like, "But why? Why do you do this? What are you doing? How? How does that work?" Like, ask some of those every once in a while. If you've got a question, freaking ask it. Don't be afraid. Put yourself out there. You're gonna learn something. You're gonna uncover a whole layer of somebody. You're gonna gain free knowledge from being curious. And guess what? That person's gonna be thrilled that you asked about it. Or they're gonna hate you, and then you just say, "Okay, cool. That was a lesson learned with that person." People skills, yay!
80% of the people sitting there with you have the same dumb question in their head, dude. Ask the quote unquote dumb question. Ask it, man. The older I get, the less and supposedly wise and smarter I'm supposed to be getting. Oh, heck no, dude. I am not going to let the stupid question go. You ask the stupid question. Dude, sometimes just someone knowing that you know something about an event as a musician or at a venue that you know that they know, that even works. Just to communicate a simple idea out loud about logistics. I'm telling you, that's so good. Yeah, yeah. Ask them questions, dude.
Yep.
Okay. Entrepreneurship, right? Entrepreneurship, man. Why do I got to do that? I can remember going to music school and just being like, I do not want to learn another skill set. Music is hard enough, you know. Now you want me to learn to sing. I got to play trumpet. I got to da, 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 da. And now you want me to learn to be an entrepreneur. What do you think about all that stuff, Annalise?
Another overwhelming topic on today's podcast. But hey, really good stuff. So, how are you gonna be a successful musician that makes a decent living for yourself? Nick is losing it. Uh, if you don't know how to represent yourself, if you don't know how to talk about yourself, if you don't know how to market yourself, if you don't know how to like get leads, get clients, if you don't know how to book, if you don't know how to have professional conversations, if you don't know how to brand, like all of these things are the, I'm going to say gateway drug, are the gateway drug, gateway experience, gateway skill set into having a successful side hustle even, or main hustle, full time, whatever you want to call it. Uh Wealth of experience and money. I mean, that's just it. Like you have to know how to get yourself from being Annalise, the singer, songwriter, pianist, music educator, to oh, she's like an entity that provides these services, and she's got a reputation, and she's got this look, and she's got this way of talking about things, and she likes this color, and all of that makes so much sense, and I want to buy her, but not like in that kind of way, not like in Wayfair being sketchy about their cabinets. Like I want to buy her as a teacher. And okay, this is maybe getting weird.
The government has now shut down the music podcast. Wayfair. Don't finish what you're saying. I'm sorry.
No, it's true. Wayfair, don't sue me. You have great furniture. I guess I totally lost my train of thought. It's just really critical. Like it's the car, it's the vehicle to um being just musician, to being a sellable product, if you will.
Dude, that's so good, man. Could not have put it better. I tell you, just understand some basic things about how money works, you know, not only getting good at like personal finance budgeting things, but learn about asset classes, learn about what side hustle, like the side hustle culture, certainly learn about social media. That's a tough one for me. I kind of I don't like it, but you know, if you think about it, things like venues like YouTube are social media in a way. You can comment, you can interact, you know, as an old guy, I just got to find my way, man. I don't know if I'm going to be doing any twik twak dances, anytime soon, but learning about, man, read you some Rich Dad Poor Dad, read you some of the crazy entrepreneur guys. Let that inspire you. I was looking at an Earl Nightingale video. Nightingale Conant is an old publishing company, and Earl Nightingale has this great announcer a voice. It's like this beautiful, maleficent voice, and he's not maleficent. That's not the right word. Well, we'll cut this out in editing, or we won't. Anyway, I'm just saying, Earl Nightingale, man, was talking today about the biggest secret or the craziest secret, and it's basically like, if whatever you think about, you're going to become. Whatever you think about, you're going to become. So if you start to think about these money things, even though it feels like real foreign and uncomfortable, and like we don't like talking about money in the United States, and our parents taught us some weird things about money and had some weird fears about money, if you start to think about money in a way that's a little bit more holy, where you're using money for good things, you're using money to make art, you're using money to help people, all of a sudden entrepreneurship is not a scary thing as much. It's still scary. We're both scared, by the way. Don't let anybody fool you about horrified, terrified. It's normal. It's normal to be scared. You just learn how to be more comfortable being scared is how it works. But man, what you think about is what you become, man. Think about some of these things, and before you know it, you feel like an empowered entrepreneur. Okay, and then speaking of things we're afraid of, for 500, Alex, how about some technology, bro? Are you gonna cry? I'm crying.
There's a tear welling up in the left eye. Technology. Hey, we're in 2022, y'all. I mean, maybe by the time we get around to being entrepreneurs and putting this out there, it's going to be 2023. Hopefully not. It's 2022. We have so much at our disposal. There's like AI stuff going on. There's self-driving cars. Like, this means for us as musicians, we can have robot cars, maybe if you're making a lot of money. But mostly, you can access so much at your fingertips to be able to produce your own music, to be able to interact with people in a whole new way, to be able to just build kind of your own little empire, to be able to build your sonic brand and not even have to go, like, knock on a studio door, not have to play a live show to get fans. Like, it is insane. I mean, even what we're doing right now is crazy, and all of it is reasonably priced, or a lot of it's free. Like, you can get into some starter pack skills and just not have to pay anything. And then there's also just the technology of playing live. So even if Nick and I were talking about this before we hopped on here, even if you're a classical musician who's playing, say, in an orchestra, or you're playing solo classical gigs, you're going to run into technology, bro. Like, there's going to be a mic on the piano. There's going to be some wires you don't recognize. You're going to have questions about all of that. Like, there's technology everywhere. It's used in every medium of music. And the more you know, the more you can do for yourself, the more you can be empowered to share your music. And it all kind of ties together in a beautiful bow. I can't really talk about it very well because it baffles me to no end. Like, I feel like I'm kind of I'm an excellent amateur. I can track very well. I can't get beyond, and the understanding of it's all air up here in the understanding of music technology. But I'm a very big step away from where I was even a year ago. So it's, constantly changing, constantly growing, constantly playing with things, and my ability to share and use technology to my advantage is growing, and that's awesome. So Nick, give us a better rundown of what technology does for us as musicians.
I mean, me and you have talked about it and found stuff. I mean, it's incredible. It's like, dude, do you know that there is I forget what company it is. I'm sure there's several now, but there's one that's like really standout that basically can master a track through AI. So it asks you like 6 or 8 questions, you answer them, and it goes, and it says, how does this sound?
What?
Crazy. There's an AI thing that you and I were talking about that can design artwork based on like some kind of long tail description, right? So you can put a few words in and it'll make a piece of art that's like yours, like you can use for branding or whatever. That's bananas. That's bananas. I mean, certainly like learning to use a digital audio workstation like Pro
Mhm.
Tools, a notation software. I mean, classical musicians, how are you not running into Finale and Sibelius? I'm sure at some point
True.
you are. Basic live audio stuff, man. Get it. Learn. Don't be afraid. If you just kind of do a little bit of it every week, all of a sudden that starts to feel like a comfortable world to you. And inevitably you're going to run into that. And certainly the stuff that we use for marketing and business, man, it's incredible what's at your fingertips. And that can like 10 times your productivity. Even, man, Annalyse is making me hip to all these organizational things. I didn't even know there was a Google check mark. What is that? Google
Google Keep.
Google Keep, bro. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? Like their own like little pseudo Evernote thing that you can check off. It's ridiculous what the Googlies have out there for you as great tools. So yeah, and as Annalie said, what we're doing right now is remarkable. I am in St. Louis, Missouri. She is in Phoenix, AZ, and we are able to pod, no
Right here.
problem, and communicate. Do we mess with something called Parsec to do tracking together? This is crazy, right? So
Insanity. Yeah, so I guess a bit of a summary here. We have the 5 things that you need to be aware of if you are an aspiring musician, if you're a curious bystander, if you're a professional musician and you're trying to refine and get to a better place. Practicing, listening, experiencing music as a consumer, and studying it more in depth. Collaborating, networking with people, pursuing your entrepreneurial endeavors, your marketing, your business, your brand, your product. And then, engaging with technology, trying it out, finding some things that work for you, finding some resources out there that allow you to get way further than you could have without the help of all the things that are available to us. Thanks for listening. If you have like a 6th thing, you would certainly add this list, or you're like, no way, you don't need technology, which I'd love to have a discussion with you, but you need this thing, drop her in the comments. We'd love to hear what your stance is.
dude, 6, 7, 8, 9. Keep going. Keep going. We love
So
hearing
many
things.
things. Which one's the hardest for you? Which one's the easiest? Which one are you like, I don't know anything about it and I'd love to know more? We'd love to cater to you and engage in discussions about these things with you. So thank you for listening, and stay tuned for more crazy infotainment on the music world. Okay, bye.
Bye. Bye.